No idea. Okay, all right, so we're gonna get started, and I don't have a copy of the agenda. Thank you, sir. It's usually something that Heidi does. Anyway, this is the October 8th board meeting for Thurston County Fire Protection District 8. And we will open with public comments. We have some folks from the public. If you have any comments about our business meeting. None today, all right.
Presentation, so we'll see.
Yep, we're gonna try and run through this so that we can have a conversation about the presentation. All right, thank you for being here. We'll moving on. Let's go to the Chiefs report, September Chiefs report.
Certainly, the monthly report was sent out Friday. If you all had had a chance to look at it, I will note again, however, that we have not received a barge report from the county, which is very disturbing. I'm glad we're not a county agency, but we're managed I would tell you our expenditures are within budget, so I would expect that our, other than the reporting, I would expect our normal revenue stream would be about the same. I can't see anything that would involve that. So hopefully next month we'll have a balance sheet report for you. So, other than that, I would be glad to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions or comments about the September report? The only comment I'll make is I just noted the total number of calls is around about 200, so far more than average.
Yeah.
And so
We've had a couple of,
continues to grow.
with that,
It continues to grow.
yes, call volume does, yes.
Right, and so the thumbnail estimate for by the end of the year, we'll have
Probably around 1,400.
1,400. Okay, yeah, I remember when we were 600 or something, 500.
I remember when we had 53 calls in a year.
Well, yeah, you go back to prehistoric times. So. Thank you, sir, for your.
I remember when people calls. Yeah, that was before you met.
Right, okay, staffing update.
So no volunteers resigned as of last month. We still have our one vacancy that's processing through. We don't see any challenges with that. We do currently still have 2 career members that are on light duty injury, which is, if you notice, the overtime is high, but the staffing doesn't seem to be much better of staffing. We have 2 light duties and 1 vacancy. So a lot of it's that. Hopefully early next year, we should be back on track.
And the forecast for when the newest hire, the vacancy will be filled.
We're waiting to hear back on the psych background and all that piece to formalize out, and then we can decide the start date to either be November 1st or December 1st. It's up to us.
Right.
Pros and cons starting earlier or later.
Yeah,
Still planning on just 1 or potential 2?
Just 1 for now is all we have. We have a line of folks that could be, but right now we only anticipate the 1 hiring.
Okay.
We interviewed 4 and we've done the background checks and so forth on 2 and made an offer to 1. So.
Remind me again, how many of those 4 were in-house volunteers?
Pardon?
How many of those 4 were in-house volunteers?
2 were volunteers, 2 were outside.
Yeah.
okay,
And that puts us at 9, 10, and 9 volunteers per platoon.
Good.
Oh, and October 2nd, so just here last week, started our new onboarding process, so new application processes start. So we'll have a whole cycle to get through before we start seeing the changes of that.
okay. Master plan update, sir.
Actually, that's a next topic.
Yes. So, okay,
I forwarded right file there. Forwarded the master plan drafts to you last month. Look at it, had some comments back, and we made some changes to the facilities and equipment. The rest of them, I didn't receive any comments back. So the community communications and risk reduction program, which is the one that Heidi manages, and it primarily is a community outreach team involved, plan and so forth. That's one of the plans. The second is the facilities and equipment. Obviously, we added a facilities component to it.
Thank you
So
for that.
But Chief McBride is in charge of that program. And then the health and wellness program is in charge. Chief Hall is our manager for that program. And this is actually, the health and wellness was a new master plan. We did not have an old master plan for health and wellness. So this is a new one. It's not really an update, but. And then the incident readiness and response master plan. Chief LeMay was the one that coordinated the update on that. You might remember we had a couple of workshops where programs were discussed and priorities made and everything. So again, this is a very high level version of that whole that program. And then last but not least, it's our training and education master plan that Chief Close manages and so forth. So I'd be glad to answer any questions. Would like to see if we can get those approved tonight.
Anything? Any questions?
I didn't have any questions either. I wanted to thank you for the update and expansion on facilities and equipment. I thought that was well done. The other one that I thought was really well done was the one that Chief Hall put together on health and wellness. I thought that was excellent.
Yeah, no, he's done a good job with the health policy. That was my work.
Okay. Are you looking for a motion to approve those, Chief?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I'll make a motion to approve those. I'll second.
All right. Give Mr. LeMay a minute to make his notes there. So moved and seconded to approve the update master planning documents. All in favor, say aye.
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 Thank you. All right, so next step with this then is to incorporate these as part of our annual business plan document. As I mentioned last month, normally we would have the draft of that in front of you. I'm working on it, but I'm kind of waiting to see what happens on the November 7th. It will significantly affect which direction we go. So the final business plan will be produced shortly after that, and I'll get that out to you. We'll get it, obviously, we'll get it before the end of the year. As a matter of logistics, the board needs to approve and submit a budget to the county for tax collection by mid-November. So we'll have a week or two to develop our revenue side budget and have you all approve it and then submit it to the county. The expense budget will probably take a little longer. In fact, the county doesn't care. We, in the past, we've adopted as late as January, but I don't know that it'll take that long. So I would expect that we can probably get that done in December.
Yep.
So, but it all depends, like I say, on what happens at the general election.
And our meeting date for November is the 12th. So that will give us a little bit of time after this, the election.
So it will also probably, the master plan collection will probably lead into one or two goals that we will have for 2025 as well. Likely as not, one of them will be on placing more detail on the incident readiness response master plan. You know, filling out that skeleton with some meat. How are we going to do these things and to what level and so forth? And again, a lot of that depends on what our budget will be as well. So, right. All right, thank you.
All right, this draft policy on anti-harassment that was presented last month. And I saw there was some minor update on that, had to do with training, and I appreciate the input on that one.
So again, based on that, I'd like to ask for approval of the policy.
I'll move to approve the new policy.
I can second it.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any discussion on that? Questions, comments?
Exciting read. Thanks, Chief.
All right, all in favor of approval, say aye.
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 Okay, thank you. Again, as I mentioned last month, what this will do now that we've adopted this is we're going to begin training all of our staff on the new policy, updated policy, and linking this policy with our servant attitude principles document as well. So actually, Chief Lemay and I will begin meeting with each of the platoons this week. And then that will be followed by some specific training that we're doing for supervisors on incorporating this process, this policy, and the servant attitude principles into the PDP process. So there will be some training. As you remember, one of the things that we're going to do is change our process for PDPs a little bit this year. We're going to do the evaluations for 2024 by the end of 2024, rather than waiting until after the beginning of the year. And then after the first of the year, then we'll do the second half of the PDP process with expectations for each member. So it's a little bit of a change. I think it's going to work a little better. And we're looking at making some changes in the staffing organization as well. So probably best to wait until those are accomplished after the first of the year. So,
I think that's a good plan.
pardon?
I like that you're moving up the PDP valuations to the end of the year, not, February or March.
Yeah.
Because now you're into part of the way through the year.
Yeah, we tried doing it all at once and
Hard to make changes.
it worked okay, but I think it makes more sense doing it this way. It's a little more work, but it doesn't hurt for the supervisors to sit down and talk with their members.
Right. You have two meetings with the member instead of just one, but to a certain extent, I think it makes it a little easier on the supervisor potentially, because you're not trying to get their all done, all the paperwork done, and then have all that conversation one time. That it's more sequential and kind of breaks it up a little bit. I think potentially it could make it easier.
I think it will. We'll see how it works out and everything, but again, that will be part of the training that we'll provide for all the supervisors on how that works. Thank you. That's all I have on this.
Okay, Mr. Lemay, for his stump. The secretary's report.
Yeah, so looking for approval of the minutes of September 10th. Hopefully we had a chance to review them. There are some printouts if anybody needs them.
Saw that I think they were amended slightly, and
Yeah.
That's good.
I sent her some request on that. She. Move to approve the minutes of September 10th.
Yeah, I'll second that.
moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye. Aye. Thank you.
And same for warrants. Warrants have gone out. Looking for approval. Warrants.
Because I had one question on warrants and there were a number of pages here. I'm trying to keep them all straight, but it was transaction 979, and it was Northwest Water Systems for the water quality testing and bacteria analysis. And then 993, Northwest Water Systems water quality testing and bacteria analysis. One was dated the 17th and the other was the 24th of September. Were those for different localities or just different months? Or, I mean, usually we only see a single entry, I think.
Yeah, you'll write which station that was for, usually on there.
One of them says, yeah, one of them says for station 81 and the other one doesn't have that any mention.
917 and 924. Those were
Those were the dates.
Yeah.
917 and 924.
I don't know.
Transaction 979 and 993.
And they're doing it monthly now, right? It's not quarterly or by end. It's monthly. They do water testing, right? think that's what we talked about.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I know demo. She answered back.
okay, appreciate that. They have different amounts, so they weren't same thing.
Yeah.
Put it in there twice.
It could have been distributed stations, probably
Is
created.
that- Okay, I just didn't recall seeing multiple entries on a single month. It's usually just one entry for the water test.
We'll look into that.
Okay. Okay, with that,
So do we wanna move to approve it with notes coming back at the next meeting?
yeah,
Well,
subject to,
if there's an error, we'll make sure that it's corrected.
So I'll move to approve the warrants. Order.
Hold on a second.
moved and seconded, all in favor? Aye.
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 Thank you.
Right, and here's the signatures.
Sorry.
So that takes care of the business meeting and that the topics that we had on the agenda for the business meeting. What I'd like to do then is call our business meeting to a close. And we will stop the recording and then we will start a new recording and begin our public presentation about Proposition 1 at right at 6 o'clock. So we'll